So I want to show you something. When you think of the idea of local government or government in general, where does that come from? Where do those ideas come from? Republicans, Democrats, where do those ideas come from?
Relative to the place and time that I'm in right now. I was born here.
Right. Okay, so, no, this is what I want you to understand. No, Rome was a what?
Rome?
Yes, Rome was a what?
Rome was a republic and an empire.
Rome was a republic, right, and an empire, right? So this is what? A democracy and a republic, right? That's what they say about America, right? Let's look at the Bible, right? So we told you already that the eagle came against you, right? So when that eagle came against you, what's something that somebody who conquers you does? What do they do if they conquer you?
They impose their laws and their culture.
And their culture on you, okay? All right, First Maccabees 1:41. Look at this first, right? So I wanted to show you. In our history, we were under captivity, the Israelites, to the Romans and to the Greeks. I'm going to show you some things that the Romans and the Greeks did, right? So let's see if they line up with today, right? Let's see if they line up with the times that we're living in. And let's see if we really get it, right? First Maccabees 1:41.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
So the king at the time, the Grecian king Antiochus, right? He said that everybody was going to be under this one people. In America, one liberty under who?
Under God, right?
For justice and all, right?
Yeah.
For who? For all of us, right? That's what they believed. We would all be one people. Now let me ask you something. Do the people here come from different countries?
Yeah.
They do, right? So the Grecians believe the same thing that America does. They also flew the banner of the eagle. You follow me, right? So this was their mindset. Let's see how they made those people one people.
Bring it out.
And everyone should leave his laws.
Everyone was to leave their laws. So knowing you were an Israelite, that wasn't something that was relevant to you. You were to leave your history and come take up American history, American ideals, Grecian ideals at these times. That's something that we do today. When you're a kid, you go to school, you get indoctrinated. You say the Pledge of Allegiance. You learn the national anthem.
Right.
You learn the same thing that everybody else learns.
Right.
So when you grow up and you become an adult, something like not voting is looked at as what? Bad to you, right?
Bring it out.
Read.
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to.
So many of the Israelites also consented. They consented. They agreed that this was the best way to go. We are here to show our people the best way to go is not to vote. Because listen, if they conquered you and destroyed you, they're not going to have you vote for your interests regardless of what they say. Regardless of what they say, they're not going to change the position that you're in. Why would I take you captive, conquer you, and then allow you to be a different people than me? I want you to believe what I believe because that's going to keep you docile. You see what I'm saying? Read.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah.
All right, drop that and now go to 1 Maccabees 8:14. Look at this now. So we're looking at the Grecian king, right? So do you know something about history where Greece became what?
Athens.
It became Rome. So there's the Greco-Roman Empire. They came, right? Greece merged itself and slowly became Rome. America has some of the same policies as Rome, as Greece, right? That's what I'm trying to show you. So there's no difference in them. So let's look at the policies of Rome now, right? Because Greece became Rome. Rome is now America, right? Let's read the Bible.
First Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 15. 14. Yet for all this.
Start at verse 13.
Verse 13. Also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reign.
So the Greeks at the time, or the Romans at the time, what they did was whoever would help them to run the kingdom, they would allow them to reign. So if you are a politician who's an Israelite, who's black, Hispanic, or Native American, and you'll help this country stay afloat, of course I'll let you reign. Why not? You have nothing to say against me. You follow what I'm saying? That's why you see those people who are elected officials that look like us. That's why they're in those positions, because they have nothing to say against a country that's conquered them and destroyed their people. They agree with it. Read.
And whom again they displaced. Finally, that they were greatly exalted.
And whoever went against them, they displaced them. They moved them out the way. That's why if you see somebody go on CNN and they talk against America, they move them out the way. They don't come back. If you see somebody in the news or say something against America, they call them crazy. That's so that they can displace them. That's what Rome does. That's what America does. Read.
Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a Senate house.
They had a what?
For how had they made for themselves a Senate house.
They had a Senate house. Today people went and voted for what? The Senate. You see, that's a Roman thing. They conquered people and said, I'm going to set up somebody to be your representative. Right. If you kill me and conquer me and take my mother and beat my daughters and my sons up and all of these different things, there's nobody you can put in place that's going to represent me. You've conquered me. Right. You've destroyed me. Right. You show me that I'm not what I believe I am. Right. And now I trust you to have somebody in position to represent me. We're destroyed. Read.
Wherein 320 men sat in council.
320 men sat in council. This is Rome. It's the same thing that we just went and voted for, right? Read.
Council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end they might be well ordered.
The point of this was for them to order their government. An ordered government in America looks like you being on the bottom. That's what order is in this country. Right. Order is the black, Hispanic, and Native American men being on the bottom. Right. That's order. That's why the black president, they'll give you one because he agrees with their policies. They'll give you a black vice president because she agrees with their policies. But they will not give you somebody who truly stands for your interests, right, regardless of what level you vote on. Because if they truly stood for your interests, they couldn't be in that position. Right. You see what I'm saying? Read.
Verse 16, and that they committed their government to one man.
To how many?
To one man.
They committed their government to one man. What would you call that today?
Government?
Yes.
The richest man in America.
No. Who's the most powerful man in government today? It's the president. Right. You see, Rome did the same thing. You falling for it again. That's what you got to realize. Before they had to kill you and conquer you to make you fall for it. Right. Now, all they got to do is tell you just go out to the polls, vote or die. Bring it out. Right? If you're dumb if you don't vote. And now they've indoctrinated you so much that you believe it. Read it again.
And they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country.
That's what happens, right? One man rules over the entire country. That's what Rome did. There's no difference. Read.
And that all were obedient to that one.
All were obedient to that one man. Go ahead.
And that there was neither envy nor emulation among them.
The point of it is, when they put one man in power is, we're going to run everything through that man for 4 years so we don't kill each other. It's never been about you. The president has never been about you. It's about them and knowing who's in charge so that we can keep them on the bottom. They know who their enemies are. You don't. You go and vote for your oppressor every 4 years. Watch. Deuteronomy 28:43. Look at this. So I showed you Rome is America. You're in the same place. But what it is we don't understand. We don't understand what's going on. We don't understand the cycle and the system. Right. You see what I'm saying? Hosea 4:6. Before you go there. Hosea 4:6. What it is we went and voted for the Roman leader. We went and voted for the Roman Senate. Guess what? In Rome, they killed the Israelites. You know who fought in the gladiator pits? Israelites. When you watch those movies, Gladiator, those were the slaves who were fighting in the pits. They took them captive and they fought in the pits. What is your neighborhood? It's a place where the slaves fight in the pits. It's the same thing. Read.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people are destroyed because they don't understand what's going on. We are here to show you you're in that same cycle. Regardless of what that representative tells you, if they were to say, let's take down America, you think they would have that seat? They could never have that seat, right? They could never have that seat. If they were out here, if you voted for them and then they say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take down America and make sure our communities are going to be great. Guess what will happen? They will be killed. They will be removed from that office. They swear oaths to America in order to be in that position. Read.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
God said you reject the knowledge of the Bible. And that's what we do. We go to everything but God. We vote for these representatives. We vote in local and state elections. And those things do not change anything. Before you, your forefathers were voting. Before you ever say, you know what, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go down and I'm going to stand in line for 3 hours, I'm going to mail in my ballot, there were other people voting. And now we're still having the same conversations now that our forefathers were having. We're still being gunned down in the street. We haven't fixed our school system. Our people haven't been given equal opportunity. No representative official is going to speak to that. You know why? Because if they do, they will be against Rome. Read.
I will also reject thee.
So God says because you reject what I keep showing to you over and over again, I'm going to reject you, Israelite man. Right. I'm going to reject you, so-called Mexican, regardless of who you vote for. Lamentations 4:17. It's over and over again in the Bible that we do this. We go back to the people who was conquering us, to the people who was over us, and we ask them for help. If I lock you in the house, why would I let you free? I'm asking.
I see all the problems you're bringing up, and I think they're really interesting, and I think they're really valid, honestly. This is a beautiful thing you guys are doing. It's really gorgeous. But what answers do you propose if we can't vote, then what do we do to fix it?
Okay, there we go. I'm with you, right? What you got to understand is the state you're in first. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Look what the Bible proposes, not me. Because the Bible just showed you that this is Rome, right? So let's see what the Bible says about what you need to do. Deuteronomy 28:1. Let's start there.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken.
So Moses said, it shall come to pass. This is going to happen if you listen. Hearken means listen, right? Read.
And thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
The Bible said we had to do the commandments that the Lord commanded us this day. At that time, the Lord taught us how to be fathers. He taught us how to raise our own children. He taught us how to build a proper economy. All those things are in this book. But what we do is we want America, the person who's conquered us, to teach us that. God said if we listen to him, these are the things that will happen. Read.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
God said he was going to set us on high. Why? Because when they looked at you, you were going to be the person in order.
Right.
You were going to be the one that showed everybody how to be.
Right.
When you think of something like a Senate, right? We, the Israelites, Psalm 104 and 19, we, the Israelites, are the people who taught the first senators how to exist. Joseph was an Israelite from the northern kingdom, like you. He taught Pharaoh's senators how to be in order. Rome is doing the same thing as that, as Egypt.
So would you suggest we have a Senate of Israelites instead?
No, just listen to me. I'm with you. I know where you're going. When you think of the typical government, right, it's the weakest form of it.
Well, I hate democracy. Yeah, it's really
Okay,
inefficient.
but Christ is a king. So a king would have a what?
Monarchy.
That's the strongest form of government according to the Bible.
Right.
Right? And what we believe is that we're going to vote for our official. Christ is going to come back and destroy this thing.
Right.
Right? So when he destroys it, he'll be king. Once he destroys it, he'll be king, right? That's how it works. So if he destroys America, if he destroys everything else, there's no voting at that point. We know who our king is. The thing is, you don't know who your king is. So you're looking for him in everywhere else except for in the Bible. Read that. Watch. Look in Psalms, right? So we taught all the senators. Watch.
Psalms chapter 105 and verse 17. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron. Until the time that his word came, the word of the Lord tried him. And the king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. Verse 22, to bind his princes at his pleasure, and to teach his senators wisdom.
The purpose of Joseph going into Egypt was to teach the senators of Egypt wisdom. They didn't have any before that.
Right.
So this government cannot stand without you, black man, without you, black man, without you, Hispanic man, doing what you do. They don't want to do the jobs you do. They can't stand without you. So when you ask me what is the solution, let's go back to Deuteronomy 28:1. Let's look at the solution. Watch.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high, above all nations of the earth.
So the first thing we got to get in our mind is God said we were above all nations on the earth. When you hear that, right, because they taught you to be one people, you don't like that. The first thing your brain says, John 3:16, God loves everybody. The Bible is telling you God was going to set a nation of people above everybody else. That was supposed to be the Israelites. But the Israelites chose to follow everything but God. Read.
And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shall thou be in the city.
Are the Israelites blessed in the city now?
No.
We're killing each other in the city.
Yeah.
God said if we kept the commandments, if we loved our neighbor like we loved ourselves, and we saw sin and we corrected each other, and we didn't deal with multiple women, then we would be blessed in the city. That's what we would be. But we don't know how to be blessed in the city because we don't know how to keep God's commandments. If we kept them, we would be blessed in the city. Look what else.
And blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep.
A lot of Israelites here in America have never seen a sheep in their life. God said you would be blessed in those things. You would have meat of your own. You would have fruit of your own. All these different things would happen if we kept the commandments of God.
Right.
So now we're in this position where we're on the bottom, where we don't own any resources. We got to go to the grocery store because we don't keep the commandments.
Right.
This is a solution. If you were an Israelite man and you understood who you were, you could start a farm. You could help your people out. But the problem is we're not on the same page as the people. We're on the same page as America.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Read.
Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
The Bible is saying when you came into the world, you would be blessed. When you died, you would be blessed. You could die in your bed peacefully. You could die knowing that the people behind you would have money. They would have resources, things that they could live with. But instead, we're not in that position. Jump down to verse 15. This is where we find ourselves because we don't want to follow God. Read.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
Now Moses is saying, you could do that. You can listen to God. But if you don't listen to God, this is what's going to happen. Read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
He said if you didn't want to listen to God and do and apply these things to your life, this is what was going to happen. Watch.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So instead of being in a position where we're blessed and we're on top, we're cursed. And we look to everything else but God to help us. We look to every other solution but God. God said that was going to happen. I'm going to put you in curses. I'm going to put you on the bottom. I'm going to make you serve your enemy. I'm going to make you be cursed in your city. And we're going to read some examples of that straight out the Bible. This is the solution. We tried everything else. We tried voting. We had Barack in office. He did nothing for us. We're still having the same conversations.
Right.
We're still having the same conversation. People think Kamala Harris is going to do something. We're still having the same conversation.
Right.
Read.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
The Bible said you would be cursed in the city. When you look where the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans stay, they're in the worst parts of the city. Right. And what they do when they get a little bit of money is they move out. Because we don't want to be around our own people. That's a sign that we're in the worst part of the city. Right. Cursed shall you be in the city. Read.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
The Bible says you would be cursed in your field, right? Whether that be your work field, whether that be picking cotton like we see on these signs, whether that be picking fruits in Mexico. The Bible says you will be cursed in the field, brother. That's what it said, because we didn't want to follow God.
Right.
Give me verse 43. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43. The stranger that is within thee.
The Bible said there would be a stranger with you. There would be another nation. That's what God is referring to. That's a stranger. God said the stranger that is among you, black man, Hispanic man, that stranger that was within you, go ahead,
shall get up above thee very high.
They're going to be above you very high. They're going to own the jobs. They're going to own the government. Right. They're going to be the people that you go and get loans from. God said they will get above thee very high because you didn't want to serve God. You didn't want to be on top. You wanted to be on the bottom because you chose to go opposite of God. Read.
And thou shalt come down very low.
Say, you shall come down very low.
Right.
That's where we at. We are very low. We think somebody who conquered us and enslaved us and killed us is going to do anything right by us.
Right.
Read.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
I've never seen a bank called the Rodriguez Bank. Have you? Never, right? Why doesn't the so-called Mexican man own the bank? Why doesn't the so-called black man own the bank? A couple, right? But the reality is we don't own something like Wells Fargo, like Bank of America, right? I hear you. I'm 100% with you, but we on the bottom, right? We got to go get loans from them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. Go ahead.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
The Bible says he will be in the front position and you shall be the tail. Right. So even in the case of us having a bank, we're at the back. Our banks are smaller. Our resources are less. God said that was going to happen if you didn't keep his commandments.
Right.
Read.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee.
The Bible said these curses were going to come upon you and they were going to pursue you.
Right.
Chase you.
Right.
Regardless of what field you went into, regardless of what you tried to do or who you tried to vote for, they were going to follow you everywhere you went.
That's right.
Read.
And overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
He said until you were destroyed. Until you got to the point where you believed that voting was going to change the situation you were in. It's not. We've been doing that for years. Since they gave us the right to, we've been voting. And nothing has changed. Read.
Because thou hearkenest not.
He said because you choose not to listen to me. Read.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So the purpose of these things is for them to be a sign. That's how God is working with you. He put these things on you for you to observe your life and the life of the Israelites around you and realize, I'm from the tribe of Judah. I'm from the tribe of Issachar. It's not random. But what we do is we walk around aimlessly. We walk around with no understanding of who we are and why these things are happening to us. So when we look for hope, it's on the television. It's with the elected official. It's everywhere but the Bible, because nobody was ever able to go into it and show you that the Bible is full of black men and women.
Right.
That the Bible is full of Israelite men and women with problems like the Mexicans have, with problems like black people have.
Right.
That's what the Bible is about. Read.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
They were to make you think. They were to make you wonder. That's the purpose of them. Read.
And upon thy seed forever.
And God says he's not going to take them off us until we turn back to him. So it's going to be on us, it's going to be on our kids after us until we turn back to keeping the laws of God.
That's right.
That's what we got to understand. That's why your parents know what goes on in the street. Because they live through the same curses.
Right.
That's why your parents know that this country conquered them. Because they live through the same curses.
Right.
But over generations, we get to a point where we become docile, where we stop realizing that we are cursed as a people.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.